Hey guys, it's Marianne, and I just wanted to go over week 3. So, welcome back. You guys are hanging in there. I'm really happy about that. So, let's just go ahead and jump in. All right, so every week we have discussion boards. So this week you guys are going to look in your trash, and this is why you're going to do that is because this is going to complement what's going on with Rachel Carson's texts. She's considered the mother of environmentalism. She did die in 1960. This was written, both of these texts were written in the 1950s. If you're going into the sciences, you will run into her again, I can guarantee you. So even though it's from the past, it still is very relevant. A fable for tomorrow is actually a story with a lesson. That's what a fable is a story with a lesson. And then the obligation to endure is more of the scientific version of what she's talking about in the story. So we got that going on. Practice, we got the week 3 spruce up. That's banned words. The main thing is I want to eradicate the word you from your vocabulary in your academic essays. So I just really want to eradicate that word. The word you, the word your, the word yours. Just, I can't tell you enough. So maybe by the end of the semester, I can get rid of that from you guys, if you're one to say those things or say any of those words. Practice writing terms. We do this every week. We'll have a quiz at the very end of the semester. Comma usage, same thing. Read chapter 4 in Malcolm Metz's The Composition of Everyday Life. Okay, so then reading apprenticeship, you guys are getting the hang of that. Annotate, you're getting the hang of that. You can do any 2 of these 4. Any 2 of these 4. Write article, reflection 3. You already know all about that stuff. Writing process video was from last week as well. If you need a refresher, there you go. Essay organization again was from last week. If you need a refresher, there you go. This is something new. So Mike Bunn's How to Read Like a Writer is an essay, a college academic essay that talks about how as a writer, you make choices. You have an audience. In this class, your audience is the college community. That means your peers. That means me and people like me, like professors. And that means the higher ups, like the college president and administrators. So this is your audience. So you need to ramp it up. We're not talking to children. We're not talking to high school students. We're not talking on Facebook or Twitter. We are talking to an academic audience. So the choices of evidence that you would use is deliberate. The choice of language is deliberate. The choice of vocab is deliberate. How thick it is with narrative techniques is deliberate. Maybe you want some, but not too much. So when you do that, then after you read it, take notes and annotate. And then you're going to complete this worksheet. All right, so that's that. Essay 2, we're moving on to Essay 2, and Essay 2 has to do with the environment and your relationship with the environment. So this is the rubric. We're going to go there in just a second. Brainstorming is going to be different from week 1. So brainstorming is going to be where you go to let me show you, Google Doc, and we already have some people already there. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the Google Doc. This is a shared Google Doc. You can actually write on this. You don't have to make a copy. And so I put in here MAK, that's me. This was my life goal. One of them, I have like 4, is to ban plastic bags. So that's my relationship with the environment. I hate plastic bags, and I would love to eradicate them from the face of the earth. So I'm going to research how. How am I going to do that? What steps do I need to take to get rid of those plastic bags? And maybe they're not even detrimental. I probably should find out how detrimental they are. Maybe they just look bad. Maybe they're not bad for the environment. I got to find that out. Somebody else put nature is good for your health. So this one, we got to have to be a little more specific. So nature is good for your health. Does that mean standing outside? Does that mean going to a forest and communing? Does that mean like what. So we got what nature and how is it specifically good for what aspects of your health. The impact of pollution in the Great Lakes or oceans. Again, we have a ton of different types of pollution. And so what kind of pollution are you talking about? And then I would definitely narrow it down to the Great Lakes. So mainly because I'm a fan of Michigan, but also because it makes it a little more personal. And by the way, I wish I could find the article, but in Ludington, there's this young person, young 20s, who leads a whole group of people to clean up the shoreline of Lake Michigan in Ludington. I just thought it was pretty cool that he would take the initiative to do that. So, all right, so that's what you're going to do there. Let me see if I can go back to where we were. So that's the brainstorming. And then you're going to do that thesis statement. There's that video on that thesis statement. Please watch it again. I know it's kind of long, like 3 minutes, but just try to. Your thesis statements were pretty good, but this I believe, but they could be a little spruced up. The essay 2 is this. So this is what the rubric the description looks like. Again, it's 1,000 words, and then some ideas. The main topic is our relationship with the environment. So as a little kid, well, not a kid, but, a young person, my cousins and I would hightail it up to Rose City and ride dirt bikes. Well, we would be tearing up the land. And then when I got married, my husband would take us to like a nature preserve and we would just learn to appreciate nature. And so I realized how my past actions affected the environment and nature. So that might be one aspect that you might go, like, how do you interact with nature right now? And what kind of, is it affecting it negatively or positively or what? Or what are you doing to impact the environment? Again, positively or negatively. Do you speak up when you see people litter? So, all right, so you decide. There's a ton of thinking ideas here, a ton of thinking ideas. And then these don't look like hyperlinks, but they actually are. These are articles that I've come across from God only knows where, but just I really thought that they were kind of cool. This woman, I made a ball gown out of 1,400 mangoes, so she's in Australia, and her family owns a mango farm. And you know how, like, when you go into Meijer, all the produce looks just absolutely beautiful. There's no blemishes, no bruises. They're huge, they're colorful, they're clean, they're shiny. Well, what happens to all of the misfits? Like, what happens if there is a bruise? What happened to that? Where does that green pepper go, And so what happened, that's the farm, like the misfits of the mangoes just get tossed and not used, and they're just wasted. And she wanted to make a statement like, I don't want to waste all these mangoes. So she made 1,400 of them and put them into a ball gown. It actually is kind of pretty and cool. This Rags to Robes is where a whole town is involved in collecting unused clothing, discarded clothing, and it's a whole production in the town to make robes. They recycle all of those discarded clothing items and make robes. 5 ways to reduce your carbon footprint. That talks about how we can create less waste. Students create something to prevent car tire microplastic debris. That was something that college students like yourself found a way to, like, when cars drive down the road, the tire gets eaten away at because of friction and because of the potholes and everything else. And so they found a way to put that to good use. And then coral reefs in Indonesia. And then this one's kind of older, but I think it's a couple years old. What happens now that China won't accept our recycling. So we got some of that going on. They are hyperlinks. You just have to click it. It doesn't look like it, but it is. A student of mine, a former student, she did allow me to use her essay. She was a surgical tech. And she wrote about how in the surgery room, just everything is just thrown away. And there's so much waste, like surgery after surgery after surgery. And so she researched how different parts of that trash can be recycled. Like, I'm not a medical person, but if you read her thing, she'll say, well, we can recycle this in this way. And just, you'll know. Anyways, it's a sample essay. And then you're going to read the search versus research video because you're going to learn about the LCC library. And so search, that's like 1 minute. Search versus research. Search is like you look up how far away am I from Charlotte, Michigan, and then you get the miles. Research is where you go down a rabbit hole. So it just talks about how that is the right thing to do. Information cycle video, again, is like 2 minutes. Writing processes from before. You saw this last week. You can read it or watch it again if you want. Brainstorming, again, is the Google Doc. You don't have to do anything. I'll just see your initials. This is due Wednesday. Working thesis, again, there's the instructional video. That's due Friday. Annotated bibliography is kind of something new. So let's go over there and check out the annotated bibliography. So the annotated bibliography is writing about your sources that you're using. So you can get them from Google Scholar, you can get them from the internet, you can get them from the LCC database. Wherever you get them from, 2 of them, you're going to write 3 paragraphs each. Again, 2 sources, 3 paragraphs each. And in each paragraph, it's spelled out what to do. So this first paragraph, a summary of the article. Do you have to read the entire thing right now to do the annotated bibliography? No. Eventually, you're going to read the whole thing and annotate it so you can get your content from it, but you don't have to do that for the annotated bibliography. Read the abstract, read the ending. What kind of research are they doing? Are they recapping research from other people? Are they doing a case study? Did they do a survey? How did they gather their information? What was found? Where did it take place? And then the second one is, how credible is this source? The main thing is those authors, what do they do? Like, are they enraptured in this content constantly? Are they professors doing research? Do they teach? Do they have experience working a job that incorporates this kind of content? Or are they your next door neighbor? Like, find credibility in the authors and the material that they use to support their argument. Is it personal experience? And do they have the right to share their personal experience? Well, they have the right, but is it credible? Does it contribute to the validity of the content that they're sharing or claiming? And then the third paragraph is, how are you going to use this content? Like, where in the paper? Is it going to be background information? Think back to that outline. You got background information, you got supporting content with paraphrases and direct quotes, personal experience, modern day examples. Is it going to be helpful in defining terms, or all of the above? So explain, and you don't have to get all worked up. It's only 5 sentences for each paragraph. But yeah, this is going to take a minute. So that is the annotated bibliography. Again, you're going to visit the Writing Center. In all honesty, because of the limited slots, I would call them or make an appointment right now. You can use them for brainstorming if you want. That would be fine. Participate in peer review. Second rough draft is next week. Final draft is next Sunday. So again, we just have 2 weeks doing this. You guys are going to have a break. So we are not going to, like, after this essay, you're going to have a week break, as far, like, not spring break, but like you don't have any essays going on. So I just wanted to give you a heads up about that. So let's see what else. I think that's it. Check out your trash discussion board, brainstorming on the Google Doc, working thesis, annotations. You can do Rachel Carson or the obesity ones. Annotations, same thing. You can do either one. Article reflection is still due. You guys are doing great on those, by the way. Essay 2 organization / rough draft is the same thing. Mike Bunn's How to Read Like a Writer, and banned words. And that is what we got going on so far. So is that organization on here? I want to make sure that it is. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, you guys, I'm sorry this was long, but I did have a lot to cover. I hope you guys have a great day and reach out. My number is plastered on everything, and that is for a reason. So anyways, have a great day.